Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. With all your heart. Missing someone.
Welcome back to another episode of Impulsive Thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, and I am joined here with my co-host tonight, except for Marisol, because she sucks.
Rude.
Yeah. Mr. Dano to my right.
Hi there.
And Mr. Donnie Rowe, Rondon John Bon Jovi, and all the other names that you call him to my left.
I was going to try and think of that song again, but I couldn't.
What song?
He said he couldn't think of it.
Stuck in the Middle,
Oh,
Damn.
but high.
but and we have a wonderful new, no, not
Well, it
Special guest.
Depends on which episode comes out first.
yeah, that's true. We have a special guest with us tonight with an alleged awesome episode.
Allegedly.
I guess I'll let the
I
thinkers
liked
be the judge of that. But we have Jam
Hi.
on the pod. Welcome, Jam. What brings you here?
Me? Oh, God.
She lives here.
So she brought herself.
I was kidnapped.
Blink twice if you need saving. Thinkers, she blinked twice. Yes.
Oh, goodness.
No, seriously. So what are you bringing to the table since you wanted to do an episode and was like begging Danny,
I was begging, yes, on my hand.
begging him? This is what I was told.
As usual.
You were begging on your knees and
Yes.
Yeah. No, I like I told you before, I heard this episode on Murder with My Husband. Awesome podcast. Go listen to it also. And I literally, like I said, I'm listening to podcasts while I'm working. And like I'll just, listen to murder and gore and all that. It doesn't bother me. This one I literally like stopped working and was like, what? That's why I like it a lot.
I liked it a lot.
I like it a lot.
The way you said it just reminded me of it.
A lot.
So, well, it looks like it's just me and you tonight because these two other fools
Now they're
are
playing
on their
on their
phone.
phone.
I like
Yeah.
a lot.
And you've probably, because you said you listened to Murder with My Husband, so you've
Yeah.
probably heard it. Because it was one of their, like, first
Older
couple.
ones? Okay, so
It was like
then
in their
maybe.
30, 40 episode range, I think.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you might have.
Probably. Maybe. Yeah,
But-
possible.
Like I said, it was really shocking. That's, for me at least. Maybe everybody will think it's boring, but oh well.
So,
Too bad you guys gotta listen to me.
so are you going to tell us or you just going to keep
Yes,
the suspense going?
Get the suspense. So this is the case of disappearance. Yeah. Yes.
Don can't hear that. He's looking confused.
No, I got context clues.
All right. This is the case of the disappearance of Jessica Dishon.
I don't think I know this one.
No, I don't.
Once you hear it, you might know it. Because you, like I said, if you listened. But anyway, the Dishon family lived in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Shepherdsville is a small town, kind of a town where everyone knows everyone. Generations of family lived there. Why are you looking at me like that? I can't.
What's the population?
Oh, that I don't know. Listen, I don't got like super specifics here. All right.
That's how it is for me usually, too. They'll ask me questions. I'll be like, well,
Google it. Edna and Mike were the parents of Chris, Michael, which they called him Bubby, and Jessica. Jessica Dawn Dishon was born May 2nd, 1982. Her family said she was a sweet and fun girl. Her dad said she would go hunting with him as a little girl. In 1999, she was a senior at Bullitt Central High School. She was a good student and got good grades. I cannot stand you, Donnie. She worked at a Hardee's restaurant to pay for her new car. And she was said
What
to...
year is this, you said?
1999.
So she's 17.
I'm getting there, thanks.
Well, because you said she was born in 82, then all of a sudden she's working to earn a car. So
And she was a senior in Bullitt
Okay.
Central High School
I'm trying to-
in
This-
1999.
this is the podcast welcome. People try and hop ahead and guess.
I know.
I'm trying to stick with the timeline.
Okay, so
say
she
follow
worked
the
at
timeline.
Hardee's restaurant to pay for her new car. She said she was said to be a hard worker, and she wanted to attend culinary school after high school. All right. So on Friday, September 10th, 1999, the Dishon family started their day. Edna and Mike were up that morning getting ready for work. After Edna left for work around 5:30 a.m., Mike got the boys, Chris and Bubby, up and got them ready for school, and then he left for work. Jessica, 17 at the time, eventually got up and got ready for school. Bubby and Chris head out and catch the bus for school, and that was weird. The headphone did a weird thing. After the boys left, Jessica would get ready and get into her car and head to school around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
6:37.
Yeah.
It's a specific time.
That's the time that he said she got ready to go to school.
Not 6:36 or 6:38. 6:37.
6:30 to 7.
Oh.
Jamie and Danny might end up on this podcast.
The day went on, and at about 1:30
Who
p.m.
wants to do that episode, Dan? You or me?
Oh my God. Marisol gets it.
Yeah.
I nominate her. So the day
She
went
just
on,
said
and
we
at about
suck.
1:30 p.m., Edna came home from work. She noticed Jessica's car still in the driveway. This is weird because Jessica should be at school. Concerned, Edna goes inside to search for Jessica. Finding that she's not inside the house, Edna calls Mike to see if maybe he took her to school that morning. Mike said that he didn't. They go over all the possibilities as to what might have happened. Maybe she got picked up by a friend. Maybe the car wasn't working. With that in mind, Edna took the keys and started the car. She had a spare. No issues. It was running fine. As Edna is sitting in the car, she finds all of Jessica's stuff in the car. Her backpack, purse, cell phone, one shoe, and keys are all in the car. I know your work phone just went off. It's 8 o'clock.
One shoe.
By this time, Mike rushes home to see what's going on. He looks in the car himself and picks up the cell phone. It's 1999, so it's one of those like old cell phones with a green screen and like
Flip phone.
the T9 pad.
Oh, like the
Oh,
old
a
T-Mobile
Nokia?
one?
Yeah, like
oh,
a
Nokia.
brick.
Nokia, there
Like
you go.
a brick.
Yeah. The one you can make a zombie killer with, they said.
Yeah. So Mike picks up the phone and sees that the numbers 9 and 1 are dialed on the phone, but not sent. Nervous, Edna and Mike call the high school. They find out Jessica was a no-show at the school that day. Now panicked, Mike and Edna head to the Bullitt County Police Department around 5 p.m. to report Jessica was missing. The sheriff believes she'll turn up. He says that she's just a runaway and she'll be back home.
Oh, God. Just
Go
a
home
runaway.
and come back tomorrow if she doesn't show up.
I hate that
Mike
so
looked
much.
I know. Mike looked at the sheriff and said, "How is she a runaway with only one shoe?" The next day,
Hop away.
yeah. The next day, September 11th, Mike and Edna called the police station. They told the sheriff that Jessica still had not come home. Stuttering problem, sorry. The sheriff sent a car with 2 police officers inside. They get to the Dishon house and go to check out Jessica's car. Without any gloves or any concern, they look inside the car and start touching all of her belongings. Nothing else was done, and they didn't take anything back to the station or investigate anything further. The next day, Edna and Mike are furious. They are not getting any help from the police, so they decide to set up civilian searches to look for Jessica on their own. They call the local news stations to get the word out that she's missing and that the police were no help. During these civilian searches, the people in the community really showed their support by helping with the search and anything the parents needed. Family and friends also came to help to show their support. Mike's brother Stanley, Jessica's uncle, was one of the family members that came to help. During the civilian searches, Mike and Stanley were talking about anywhere Jessica might be. Stanley said that if anyone, I'm talking with my hands,
No, I'm guessing.
No, he's eating his shot, and I just hear him.
slurping in your ear.
I don't know how you can hear that.
Oh my God. They were talking about anywhere that Jessica might be. Stanley said that if anyone from this town was to do something terrible, they would put their victim's body in the river bottoms. So, the river bottoms is a hangout spot for teens and troublemakers. Police describe this as a place where illegal activities and bad things happen in the county. It's spooky and secluded. Its bodies of water with a lot of wooded area. Mike and Stanley decided that they need to include this area in their search.
The river bottoms, right?
The river bottoms. Searching through the river bottoms was rough. Imagining that the worst has happened and Jessica being left there, it was extremely hard on the family. Stanley was so upset he started vomiting. Mike and Edna send him home to continue their search. Nothing comes up out of it, and they have to end their day. A few days later, Jessica's brother Chris went outside to feed the family dogs. He comes running back in the house and tells Mike that he thinks he just heard Jessica say, "Help me." Mike grabs his gun and runs outside to see what's going on. As Mike and Chris run back outside, Stanley is pulling up in the driveway and helps them start to search the area. In the distance, on top of a hill, on the next door neighbor's property. Now, mind you, they're like in a very rural area. Houses are kind of spread far apart. They have a lot of land. So up on this hill, they see a fire, and they go and check it out, and they find that someone's burning clothes in a barrel.
Oh, fuck.
This property belongs to Bucky Brooks. This is the family neighbor to the Dishon family. So, little backstory, not backstory, I guess, but when Jessica was found to be missing, the Dishon family kept getting these phone calls, and it ended up coming from the Brooks family, and like they would breathe heavy into the phone, and then say like, "Please don't kill me" into the phone as her daughter is missing.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah. So
But this was found out later, or they knew this already leading into this?
they figured out who it was like as it was happening.
Okay.
So that's what like the two families were not friendly to one another, obviously. So seeing the fire and already annoyed with him, Mike goes to Bucky and asks if they can search his property, since this is the only nearby property they haven't searched. But Bucky says no. Mike then calls the police to let them know what they found to see if they would finally be able to help. Police came out to the property and asked Bucky if they could search. He again said no, but then the next day the police got a warrant and sent dogs out on the property. Mike gave the police the clothes Jessica was wearing the night before she disappeared so the dogs could have a scent to smell, I guess, if you want. The police took the scent dogs out, and they alerted to a scent at the barrel.
The burn barrel.
During the search, Bucky was acting weird, pacing, saying weird things. The police found a pair of gloves in the burn barrel. These gloves had the smell of decomp on them. Police were obviously suspicious of Bucky, but didn't have quite enough evidence to arrest him.
Well,
And-
that's okay. Let me pause you for a second.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say earlier. Like, the probable cause to get a search warrant was just because he was burning clothes.
Yeah.
How old is Bucky? Is he like her age or is he an adult?
An adult,
Okay.
40s, 50s.
Oh, okay.
That just seems so bizarre that how easy they were able to get a police search warrant.
Yeah, they did.
Not it ain't like that anymore.
No,
It's so hard to get a search warrant.
I'm shivering. I'm cold. At this time, the family was not happy with local police, obviously, so they reached out to the FBI to help with the search, and the FBI agreed. With the help of the FBI now, local law enforcement finally takes this case seriously. I know, I can't talk.
Super serial.
Super serial.
Captain Crunch.
And they help along with the FBI. The FBI conduct their investigation and start searching Jessica's room and car. The FBI impounds the car to look at evidence closer, but it really means nothing because the car had already been touched by family, friends, volunteers, and media. They had
Media too?
media come out and like
Christ.
do like their little segment, and like people were sitting in her car doing
Oh
their
my
segment.
god.
And it's like, are you kidding me? Yeah, so fingerprints and other evidence is tainted. During their search of the car, the FBI found a broken piece of plastic from the driver's seat. Adding this broken piece of plastic with her one shoe that was on the passenger side of the car, the cell phone, the FBI suspects that she was in the car and then pulled from the car. The FBI brought in helicopters and more manpower to search air and ground. The FBI searched the Brooks family farm again. In this search, they found a photo of Jessica on the farm. It was like a school photo. Law enforcement continued their search since they still feel like they don't have enough evidence. So now it's September 27th, 1999. That's 17 days since she disappeared. A woman by the name of Karen Hobbs was driving through the river bottoms when she notices something sitting against a tree. Karen got out of her car to investigate, but stopped before getting too close because she knew immediately that she needed to call the police. Law enforcement and forensic team arrive and start their investigation. They discover Jessica's body resting against a tree in the river bottoms just 17 days after she was last seen alive. It was summer, and being out in the elements, her body was so badly decomposed that she was unrecognizable.
Wow.
She was partially clothed, and her jewelry was found near her body. The sheriff, Paul Parsley, makes a drive to the Dishon family home to notify them that they have found a body. Ugh. Jessica's mother, Edna, looked at Sheriff Parsley and said, quote, "Now are you going to say to me that she's a runaway?" I know, it killed me.
So I don't know if you're going to go into details later. She was just sitting against a tree, or was she like chained to it or held up, right?
Just like placed against it, sitting
Okay.
on the ground.
Okay.
The coroner's report stated that the cause of death was strangulation. She had a broken jaw and some of her fingers were cut off.
Jesus
She had been
Christ.
severely beaten, raped, and tortured. The coroner stated that Jessica's time of death was around 3 days after she'd been reported missing.
So she was tortured for 3 days and raped for 3 days.
That means she was alive for 3 days after being kidnapped. If the police would have taken it seriously the first day, they may have had the chance to find her and the kidnapper. Investigators had determined that her body had been moved from where she was originally dumped. She was dragged 15 feet to the tree where she was found. The suspect placed her body so it was in view from the road. Normally when something like this happens, law enforcement says it's somebody that they probably know. Like the suspect knows their victim. They want them found. All that jazz. The police bring Bucky Brooks in for an interview. Bucky told police that he saw Jessica walking to her car that morning of her kidnapping, but then he changed his story and said he didn't see her. He told police he'd actually been with his wife that morning doing the dirty. The police followed up with his wife, and
Brown
she said,
chicken, brown cow.
"Yeah." The wife said, "No, he's lying. We were not together."
Damn.
I know. I was like,
Happy marriage.
yeah. At this point, Bucky Brooks was the main suspect due to his changing story and now this photo on the property. So as they're interrogating him, they decide to give him a polygraph. He accepts. He obviously fails the not obviously, but he fails the polygraph and was interrogated more. He changed his story even more. He said he had no idea how her photo ended up on the property. And now investigators thought they had enough and decided to go to a grand jury, and Bucky was eventually indicted. Bucky was sent to trial on January 18th, 2001. He was charged with the kidnapping and the murder of Jessica and facing the death penalty. During the trial, prosecutors used the fact that he changed his story and his actions, saying that not letting the family search his property, the burning of the clothes, the scent dogs, the photo, it was clear indication that Bucky committed this crime.
I feel like there's a twist coming the way this is all going so easy.
Yeah.
Somebody also dropped a bomb. It smells in here.
Harley.
The defense discussed.
I don't smell anything.
He who smelt it dealt it.
Yep.
Wah, wah. The defense discussed how badly the investigation was handled, from the police not taking the case seriously to the police not taping off the property or impounding the car. And then also they found out that the crime lab, I guess they had parts of Jessica's body that they were supposed to freeze, and they didn't because they wanted to use it for more testing, like DNA as like things, if they needed to, but they didn't. During the trial, the defense wanted to show the court that there were other suspects, but the police had their sights set on Bucky. One witness that the defense had was said to be Jessica's drug dealer. His name is James Coulter. The defense used him as another possible suspect since Coulter stated he saw her the day before she went missing, and other people had mentioned that James said he saw her the day after she went missing. Detective Charles Mann was one of the detectives from Shepherdsville that was on the case. He was a detective that gave Bucky the polygraph, and he was brought to the stand to testify. He was cocky and confident that Bucky was the guy for this crime. The defense started hounding him, saying things like, you didn't even take this case seriously. So why are you blaming Bucky? This case wasn't handled properly. Can you explain that? The defense started asking Detective Charles why he was charging the defendant with little to no evidence. Man got cocky and he was super aggravated with all the questions. He decides to blurt out because he failed the polygraph test.
That's good reasoning.
But you can't charge a person solely on a polygraph.
Right.
The reason polygraphs are inadmissible in court is because they're not 100%. You can't use a polygraph to charge a suspect. The law enforcement uses a polygraph to open the door for more questioning. And if it's mentioned or discussed during trial, it's grounds for a mistrial.
Oof.
So you know where we're going with this.
Mistrial.
So after Mann says, because he failed the polygraph, the defense quickly said objection and asked the court to declare a mistrial. The court ended up declaring a mistrial. Edna and Mike were obviously so unhappy with how everything was handled, from the investigation to the trial. All they wanted to do was get justice for their daughter. The state eventually decides to not charge Bucky again until they are able to produce more evidence. With no more evidence or witnesses, the case goes cold. But this is not where the story ends.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. I needed your...
I don't have that.
It's late now. That's fine. Over the years, Mike and Edna are not able to cope with the events of their life and eventually get a divorce. Now we're going to fast forward to June 2012.
Dang, so 13 years later.
A detective named Lynn Hunt is asked to start reviewing cold cases. She begins to look into Jessica's case. There's not much evidence to look at. The police did not keep any evidence from the car, and there was not very many notes or like documents. She stated in one of the interviews on the cold case file that there's an episode on that most of the files she had from the state were loose papers and Post-it notes.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to Kentucky.
Starting from scratch, Detective Hunt makes a visit to the Dishon house. She wants to take a look at Jessica's room. The family hasn't touched it since she's left.
Really? Wow.
If you watch, like, the cold case file episode is really good. It's on Prime right now. Yeah, they go over it and talk about it. It's really sad. Kind of breaks your heart. While looking around her room, Jessica's brother, Bubby, gives Detective Hunt a box. She opens the box to find all the evidence that was in the car. Her cell phone, her shoe, her backpack. Since this evidence was all tainted, law enforcement didn't take it. Looking for more information, Detective Hunt contacts Bucky's defense team. She asks if she can have their files from the trial. After getting all the files from the defense and the state, she finds the defense actually had more files and documents than the state had.
Jesus.
Which seemed a little sus.
Yeah, a little.
As she's going through the defense stuff, she finds a mental health evaluation for Bucky. Reading the findings of the evaluation, Detective Hunt found that Bucky had an IQ of 61. An average IQ for an adult male, I got two different sources, so it's two different numbers. I'm going to give you both. But an average IQ for an adult male is between 85 and 114. The other one said 90 to 109. Either way, he was below average. He most likely could have been taken advantage of as he was not mentally able to take a polygraph
Right.
test. He may not have understood the questions. After seeing what the defense had and the lack of evidence the state had, Detective Hunt doesn't believe that it was him, and she was now determined to find more evidence to solve the case, not only for Jessica and her family, but also to clear Bucky's name. Detective Hunt reviews any other possible suspects listed in the files. She verifies that James Coulter, the drug dealer, actually had an alibi the day she went missing. So now this is September 30th in 2013. Before Detective Hunt actually finished going through all the boxes from the defense and the state, she met with an inmate, an informant, that reached out to her. He said he had information about another inmate who he roomed with in prison. The man he roomed with claimed to have killed Jessica. The informant said the man stated he held her at a barn for a couple days, then took her life and mutilated her body to make it look like a drug deal gone bad.
Jesus.
This seemed to be too good to be true, but this inmate knew the facts about this case that was not given to the media. So what he's saying must be true. Only the killer would know these facts. The informant stated that the inmate said that he and Jessica had a relationship, which seemed weird because the inmate was much older than Jessica. He was like 40 to 50. The inmate found out Jessica had a new boyfriend, her own age, from school, and it made him very mad. Detective Hunt asked for the name of the cellmate. The informant states that it was Stanley Dishon, her uncle,
Oh my god.
who helped in the search and who was there for the family. The same uncle who was so distraught over the searches that he threw up. At that time, Stanley told the informant Stanley was in prison for sexual assault of a child. Like when he's telling him the story about killing Jessica. Now with this information, Detective Hunt looked further into the files and also asked the family more questions. She asked where they were during the search when Stanley threw up. She found out he was about a half mile away from the body. So while they were out searching her body, she was dead, out there dead. And it was about a half a mile. He decided either he did it to distract them, to keep them away from the body, or he was that upset with himself that he did it. And his brother is with him, going to find his daughter or his niece. Jeez. Yeah. Stanley also told the informant that he held her in a barn and stuffed all of her personal items into a tree that fell down. It was just like a stump near where her body was dumped. Detective Hunt got a team together to look for evidence, including one of Jessica's. Oh wait, hang on, I'm sorry. Detective Hunt got a team together to look for evidence, including one of Jessica's brothers, Bubby, to search the barn and grounds. As she starts searching the barn, she sees that this barn is like a party barn. Kids threw parties and hung out there. There's a lot of garbage and trash. As she was searching inside the barn, she noticed a piece of material sticking out under a pile of stuff. She thought to herself, this looks familiar. It looks like the same pattern as Jessica's bedding. They lift up the stuff to get to the fabric and notice it was bed sheets. They hurry back home to the Dishon house and take the sheets with them. And they want to verify if it matches her bed sheets.
Yeah.
Remember, her room has not been touched since she went missing. Detective Hunt lifts the comforter off the bed to find her sheets are missing. It was just the comforter and a mattress. On September 10th, 1999, Stanley, this is
Flashback.
not flashback, but what happened.
Yeah.
So on September 10th, 1999, Stanley went to the house after everyone had left. He confronts Jessica about the new boyfriend she started dating. And that's when she says that she's mad. She doesn't want to do this anymore. And he's been sexually assaulting her since she was 13. She's sitting inside her car as he was yelling at her. She had had enough and said that she was going to tell everyone what he'd been doing to her. He got mad and pulled her from the car. At that time, too, she was dialing 911 because she was scared.
Yeah.
Upset, Jessica went back into the house. He follows her in. Stanley hits her in the face, knocking her out and breaking her jaw. He wraps her up in a bedsheet and makes her bed with just the comforter to make it look like her bed was made, and then takes her to the barn where he held her there for 3 days, where he raped her and tortured her. He eventually cut off her fingers, strangled her, and dumped her body. During the investigation, Detective Hunt found 3 other extended family members that were sexually assaulted by Stanley.
Jeez.
Stanley Dishon pled guilty to 4 counts of rape and pled guilty to manslaughter.
4 counts of rape, you said?
4 counts of rape because there was 3 other family
Right.
members and her. But he pled guilty to manslaughter. He was given a deal. He would only be convicted of manslaughter if he pled guilty and told the story of what happened. And he would only receive 20 years in prison.
Jesus.
Yep.
The family was okay with that deal?
Shot after that.
No. So after the trial, Detective Hunt finished going through the boxes from the defense team. While looking through all the documents, she found a letter in the box from 2002. So this was 3 years after.
Yeah.
It was from an inmate that said his cellmate, Stanley, killed his niece. Detective Hunt discovered both defense and state had this letter and didn't do anything about it. And that's the story of Jessica Dishon. Dang. Yeah,
I
know.
it irritates me when it comes to police not doing their jobs right, because it always brings me back to like the John A. Ramsey case and everything like that.
I just listened to a 3.5-hour episode by Crime Junkies,
Oh,
and I want to watch the documentary.
yeah, I do too.
But
So-
it's a lot of things have changed though. Like now they used to have like that. Oh, if somebody goes missing, it's like a 48-hour rule. Like now,
Right.
no, a lot
That
of
was,
places.
honestly,
That was never
true.
yeah. From
That was-
listening to the Crime Junkies in Morbid, they say if the cops ever tell you that was never a law.
Yeah,
it was never a rule.
law.
Oh, a lot followed it. Because they always,
Yeah.
every crime, everything
no.
from the past, they always said that.
Oh right. The police try to pull that shit all the time, but it was
Right.
never.
And of course, they're not going to look at the uncle, especially the way that he was acting and everything like that.
So how long was he in jail for? Was he like going to be in there for another 30 years before this 20-year sentence took place, or was he like? Because
No,
you
I
said they
think
found
he
him in
went-
jail, right?
No, he
Oh.
was in jail with,
Oh,
and that's
when
when
he-
he told that cellmate, but he
Right.
wasn't in there for very long.
20 years.
So yeah, 2033. I think he's eligible for parole in 2028.
I hope they don't. Well, they don't release him. If he lives, I mean.
Yeah, he's got to be like 70 when he gets out. I think is what they said, 70 something.
Well, if he was 40-ish in 99, so I put him at 64 now. 10 more years, 74 and 33.
Yeah.
Man.
I know. That's why, like I said, when I was like typing along, doing my work, and then all of a sudden they were like, drop the bomb of it being the uncle. I was like, never. I didn't think that. I was like, oh, it's this Bucky guy.
I was going to joke earlier and say it's the dad, just because like I felt there was some kind of twist coming.
No, watching.
But the uncle was out of my mind all the way.
Yeah, watching the cold case file, his mom and dad, or her mom and dad, is depressing to watch. And then that was the other. It was kind of fun. Not fun, but it made me chuckle a little bit. In the cold case file, the dad said, "Yeah, he'll be out in 2033, and I'll be waiting."
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit!
nice.
Here comes another true crime documentary."
Just like how everyone says they're going to be waiting for Selena's killer to get out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't she supposed to be getting out soon or something?
Yeah, I thought.
Or she already got out.
Yeah, I thought she got out. Like just recently, there was something going on about her.
Yolanda.
Crazy.
So he,
Hold on more.
man, I don't even have any questions. Like I don't even know.
Yeah.
March of next year she gets out.
Dun dun dun.
How long do you think she'll last?
Not very long.
March of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was a good case.
Sorry for all my stuttering and can't read.
Yeah, we don't ever make mistakes like that on this podcast. How dare you
Not at all.
bring the quality of our pod
Especially
down?
me.
But yeah.
We're all speechless. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
just,
Is that good or bad?
See, now you know what Marisol goes through, because when she does one and like people are quiet, she's like, "Was that bad?" Since you're quiet.
I don't know if it's good or bad.
Well, that's why I said like that the women that have been on the podcast, like you guys knock it out of the park.
Thanks.
Yours was subpar.
Oh.
Yours was the-
No, it was good.
She's like, "Get the fuck out of my
I'm
house
just
right
saying though, like what irritates me the most is the investigation and everything like that. Like how
did they sue the
dropped
police
ball.
station? Did they anything for handling the case wrong or anything? Like,
Now that you say that, I feel like I read that somewhere, but I don't think it went anywhere.
Of course it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Like I said, I don't know if this is good or bad.
No, it was good.
that's good. It's just
I know that's what I said. Like I remember, like when I heard it, I was like,
normally we have a lot of questions, but I think you answered a lot during it. Like you did good research where there's nothing left to ask.
I might have got lost, but did they? Oh, you said they tortured her and raped her. They didn't. Did she die because of?
strangulation.
Okay.
He strangled her.
Was the cutting the fingers off just part of the torture, or was he trying to hide the
He said
identity?
he did it just to make it seem like
Oh, the drug deal
gone
going bad. What the case or the cold case files you watched or whatever? Is he interviewed in it, or no?
No, they do show, like, because I guess I know Bucky's trial was they have video of it. I don't know if it was televised, but they have video of it.
Yeah.
And then I did see snippets of Stanley's trial, but I don't think it was very long because, like I said, he pled guilty.
20 fucking years. I don't understand why they pleaded that. Like they must not have had a lot of evidence, or what? That makes no sense. If they have him for the murder, and
But now
isn't that
he's saying-
that's a what's it called? Extenuating circumstances. When a rape and a murder is usually what they call a whatever. I can't think of what they call it. It's like something.
I mean, I feel like if you're the evidence is there and everything like that, and you're found guilty of murder, I mean, you should never see the light of day.
I don't think there was very much evidence because everything was tainted. There wasn't a lot of evidence, and
Yeah,
all they had
that's
was an
another thing,
informant,
too.
an informant's word.
Yeah.
I think that's why they took the plea deal. So they didn't and it was odd. They did say they didn't want all of the victims to have to go through that and share their experience of what happened. So because there was 3 other family members that said he was raped, they were raped. So they didn't want the victims to have to go on trial and state their case about what happened and talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Olivia
it
Benson
makes
style.
sense, yeah.
Olivia Benson doesn't like that when that happens on
Nope.
Law and Order SVU.
She does not. She
Dum-dum.
protects them.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't. The uncle.
I know.
Fucking people.
I keep hearing the buzzer for the dog go off, and I keep feeling bad.
Hill rides in the
fine.
fucking Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me see. I'll pull up a
And see the
picture. They're
Tucky.
very. It's
Very southern.
yeah.
Flying a Confederate flag in her front yard.
That's the uncle.
Ooh. Yeah, you got
He
to.
looks like he did it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was at trial, or not at trial, but
Wow, look at that mullet.
Jeffrey Dahmer glasses.
Jeffrey Dahmer with a mullet. If Jeffrey Dahmer liked NASCAR.
Let me show you Jessica Dishon.
Yeah,
Praise hell, praise Dale.
It's Jessica.
she looks normal.
Yeah.
Them bangs though.
That's those 80s,
That's
those
the
90s,
90s.
90s bangs. Yeah, you got to share those pictures so we can put them when we post the Facebook
Episode.
post.
Yeah,
Because Lupe doesn't do Instagram posts anymore.
I haven't.
And that's a grainy picture.
Bucky.
I can show you Bucky. I was gonna say that's her dad. It's Mike
He
Dishon.
looks like he did it too.
I know he's making a weird face. Let me see. Here we go.
Looks a
Super
little bit
shaky.
more
I'm
normal there.
cold.
Why are you cold?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm always cold. What do you?
It's always cold. It's winter time. She's freezing
Makes
cold.
me think
But
of-
ask if she ever put socks on.
Nope.
Makes me think of I can't remember the family's name, but this guy documented them.
Making a murder?
No, in West Virginia, I think, and like one of the family members just barks like a dog.
What?
Like he doesn't talk at all; he just barks.
What the hell?
He identifies as a dog.
Yeah, making a murder where they put the
That was a
nephew,
good
where they fucking reamed him
But then,
for
you know
12
what?
hours
And the
interviewing
thing
him,
is-
and he was under, he had a low IQ
Yeah,
also.
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna bring up. Like that kind of reminded me of that.
Right. I went right to that too when she was talking about that. Like the West Memphis Three, they weren't low IQ, but they were
The one
young
was.
kids. Oh yeah,
The
Been
one
there.
who
Yeah.
said they did it, and then they got the other two.
But they also same thing. They put them in a room for like 14 hours without anything to eat or drink, and just
All I have
Man,
are
how,
like
how can they legally do that? Like,
they can't. That's the problem. They're not supposed to, especially if they're under 18.
lawyer up,
that's what people don't realize. Always get a lawyer.
Always.
Never take a polygraph.
get a lawyer. Yeah, but a polygraph. I mean,
That's just don't do it. I mean, in this case, it worked for Bucky because then, I mean, it didn't work, but because he
Because the
failed
cop was so fucking cocky
and
about
he
it.
was so cocky, it like I said, it worked out in his favor. But never.
I
do
mean,
it.
like I said, polygraph test. I mean, they can't use it in court. They can't use it against.
But
you.
then they use it to interrogate you for like 30 hours.
Okay, and that's when you say, "Hey, lawyer."
I know, but some people don't have the bandwidth to understand that, and they think I'm innocent. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, what do I need a lawyer
I'm
for?
just
I
gonna
didn't do
say
it.
I'm just gonna say whatever they want me to say to get out of this.
Right.
That's what people with
Always lawyer up, people. No matter what you do,
and don't
always
take a polygraph.
lawyer up.
That's what they say on Morbid too, or Crime Junkies, both of them, whatever. Always get a lawyer, never do a polygraph. And it's funny when they go over cases and they're like, "Oh, I'm glad they. Oh, man, why did they lawyer up like that?" But they're like, "Well, our Crime Junkie rule is always lawyer up," but they get mad when they do lawyer up. Like, now you look guilty because you lawyered up, but always lawyer up.
Yeah, like fuck that. I don't care how guilty I look. I'm lawyering up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Especially with something that serious, as serious as murder.
Still think it's weird though that there was a photo on his farm
Yeah.
and then the clothes in the barrel. That's why I'm like, why is that all there?
Was it
So,
her
yeah,
clothes in the
that-
barrel though?
That's what they're saying because the scent dog
Yeah.
triggered or whatever to it.
So that's another question of mine. Like, where'd the shit come from?
No clue.
They break in
They
house
never-
and
they never
stole a bunch
went
of
into
shit,
it.
or-
Once they had Stanley, like nobody ever discussed anything else out of
Bucky.
after about Bucky.
Bucky Dent.
So,
Yeah, it's weird. That's what I don't get, but
Yeah.
that's me.
Very, very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're right. Like, why is all that stuff at Bucky's place?
Right.
Like, was something else nefarious going on there?
Well, that's why they thought it was weird when Chris went outside and he thought he heard her say, "Help me."
Yeah.
And just coincidentally, Stanley's pulling up at that time.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like she in the car? And then
Was
he,
she
like,
still
knocked her.
alive? Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's why I thought that was weird. But then again, they said the Brooks family, Bucky's family, was like tormenting the Dishon family, which makes no sense.
Disgust.
Right.
Q shop, stop shaking your leg, please.
Sorry. It's a bad habit.
All I hear is his jeans just grinding against each other.
Oh, that's dirty.
Shit, I just started doing it again. It's a bad habit.
Yeah.
Well, good episode.
Well, thanks.
enjoyed
I don't
that.
know if I feel like that because you guys are awfully quiet.
No, that's when we're thinking, which is
I know I'm trying to think of other questions. That's why I bring other things up, but I mean,
I know if you do watch the Cold Case File, it's like season 1, episode 8. I think it's called The Family Secret.
the family secret.
Yeah, but the detective Hunt, she was like amazing. She actually went through and did all the work
yeah.
after law enforcement decided
The work that she's supposed to do.
she's a runaway.
That's usually
I'll
the
fuck
first
a
thing.
motherfucker up if they ever told me that if my kid was missing.
I can understand if
That was the answer back in the 70s and 80s and 90s all the time. Yeah, the runaway. That's the runaway.
right, but I mean, I can understand if like there was issues in the family with the child.
Right.
Like if she was a bad kid, they said like she smoked pot. That's her drug dealer. That's what it
my
was.
God.
But that's what she wasn't a bad kid.
Right.
But I think they tried to
Play it off like she was.
like they said though she's a runaway. She smokes pot. She'll be back.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all these cases, like I hear all the time too, when the cops are like, oh, they're runaway or they just blowing off steam, they'll be back in a little bit, and the parents like, no, you don't understand, everything's going right, blah 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 blah. Like they don't listen to the parents who know their kid best, you know. Again, if it's a kid that's always in trouble and fighting with the parents, okay, fine, maybe the parent just wants to tell you they're fine, but if it's a good kid, straight A's, blah blah blah, whatever, and I mean not this case, but and everything's going right, and the parents telling you, I know my kid would not run away for no reason. Like they have a big dance they're getting ready for, they have a big game they're getting ready for. They ran away. What? Like what makes you
Not only
think
that,
you know?
like the evidence too. Like
Right.
they found a shoe.
Right, one shoe and her cell
Cell
phone.
phone dialed 911.
Right. Come on.
Yeah.
Take it a little bit more serious than what you are.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That's why when
That's why I fucked at 12.
that's why what?
Fuck the 12.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm not the only one.
do we have to old explain to you?
What is it?
Do you know what the
Danny
you don't know what
doesn't
the-
know what 12 means.
I don't either.
Oh,
Yes, I'm not the only one.
Dude, I'm gonna be a grandma, okay?
grandma before 40 years old. Or 40, I don't know. I never remember.
My
The
sister
12
called
is
me.
slang for the police.
That was 50.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
There's a lot of
What?
I sent her a video of us recording.
Who?
She's been replaced.
Is she home from work now?
I'm assuming.
Tell her I'm her new replacement. Bye.
I told her we literally just found out you didn't know what 12 meant.
Oh my god. Skibbity Ohio Riz, man.
She said, oh God.
Skibbity Ohio Riz.
Jamie said, skibbity.
Toilet.
Skibbity toilet.
Okay, I think that's like the only thing I don't know. What the fuck does that even mean?
Who knows?
I don't either. I just pretend like I know.
Riz in Ohio.
Riz, I know is
I know
charisma.
Riz, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like
Yeah, because you sent me like 6 months to a year ago. You wanted to try that Chat GPT to see if you can get Riz or something like that. I forgot what it was.
It's God, that was a year.
See how much Riz
She
you
said,
have.
oh God, again.
oh no, that's what I was gonna say. In the cold case episode, the part where the mom said to the the one sheriff that came, like, you gonna tell me she's a runaway now?
Yeah.
The dad is the one that said that she said it. Like, he was talking, like,
For her.
And it just, like,
Broke you.
oh, God. Like, to just look in their face and be like, fucking assholes, you get it now? You got it? Good.
I would have probably ended up in jail for punching
That's
the
a-
cop in
I'm-
the face.
The dad, I think, was ready to go to prison because he was going to fuck everybody up. He was over it. He was just...
Yeah, I don't ever want to think about going through something like that, because you want their help, you want them to do the job the right, but if you know they're not, you want to get in their fucking face and lay them out.
That's
but then,
another thing too. Like, how can that be your go-to? Oh, they're a runaway. When the parents know the children that well.
I told her you said you're replacing her. She goes, no, I'm really sad.
Just kidding. I hate this feeling.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this will be her first and last podcast episode.
I don't know. I have two others that I really like. Everyone knows the one is Susan Powell.
I don't know who Susan Powell is.
I know the name.
That is like one of my non serial killer cases. That like.
Is that the New
learn
Orleans
about.
one?
No.
Oh.
Anyway, there's that one and another one that I've watched on. I watch a lot of 2020 and Dateline.
2020, 2020 has a podcast,
Do they?
So does Dateline.
Yeah.
They all do.
and it's basically their show,
yeah.
but podcast form.
But yeah, the other one was on both of those, and it like, what? Mind blown.
That was a sound of
But-
your mind being blown.
I'll say it. Yeah. My mind's not that, great.
Mine would just be.
On that note, did I not take long enough? Should I talk slower?
I wasn't recording. You have to do it over.
She'd be like too fucking bad.
And for those reasons, I'm out.
So maybe I'll be on in the future and tell those other two stories. Dun, dun, dun. And my own soundboard.
Okay, Danny.
What? Does he always do that?
All the time.
Shows how much I listen.
Yeah, if you listen, you'd know that.
I did look it up, and that family I was talking about, it's the Whitaker family.
Uh-huh.
They live in like the Appalachia.
Uh-huh.
And this guy basically,
Appalachian Mountains. Appalachian Mountains.
Appalachia? Mountains.
Echinacea?
Appalachia?
anyways, this guy has been going there just to like help them out and film them and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And they're like an actual like,
Inbred family?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those. They're the one guy, he just keeps talking, but he's not saying any real words.
What?
It's weird. They're like total inbred, 100%.
Oh, so he mumble raps.
It's weird. It's not even, it's weird. And then like their eyes are like opposite directions.
Cletus, go get your sister.
Yeah, I watch a lot of TikToks on those guys.
Go get your grandma aunt.
go get your
He
grandma.
like found
aunt.
them randomly, didn't he?
I think something like that, yeah.
Jeez.
My mother's my sister. What?
Literally.
I think I shared a meme once before, and it was a screenshot of someone Googled, can your grandpa be your cousin, or can your grandpa be your son, or something weird? And it was like, fucking weird ass one. Like, what the hell is this shit? Funny stuff.
Didn't we talk about that? Where we were like, oh yeah, well, but I mean, you could be twice removed, and then we were like, what the fuck does twice removed mean?
Yeah, I don't
And-
know what that means.
Divorced.
No,
No,
actually.
like my cousin Jessica, because her mom and my mom are cousins. It makes us like second cousins once removed, or whatever the terminology is. Weird shit like that. I don't know how.
Because it's married in and you're not actually in that family.
Yeah, it's when you're married or divorced, and that's what that has to do with it.
So
Yeah.
it's weird.
Either way, weird shit, man.
I
Who
think,
cares?
at least.
Just cousins. We're cousins. All that matters.
Yeah, I would just say first second. Oh, well,
I just say we're cousins. I just say we're cousins. I don't even use
Talk
numbers.
about mumbling.
I wouldn't even go past second.
Okay, boom hour.
Okay, what'd you say?
I said, okay, boom hour.
I wouldn't go past second cousins. I mean, no, I'm not going to talk.
Too many jokes.
Here, we'll settle it. I'll look it up.
Here we go. We did this last time.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
You never recall anything.
I'm old. I'm gonna be a grandpa.
I hate you guys so much.
Skibbity.
Skibbity Risen,
Now I hate
Ohio.
you.
I love doing that to Landon. When we were at Dan's house when we were moving them in, and Landon was like pouting the whole time. He didn't want to help, and I was like, "Skibbity Ohio Riz toilet, skibbity man." And he's like, just giving me this weird look. I did get him to laugh though.
That was very cringe.
It was. It reminds me of.
Danny, do you know what cringe means?
Okay, boomer.
It reminds me of when Joey tries to pretend to be an 18-year-old in Friends. Sup with the wet PlayStation. Sup. That was me.
Here, so it says twice removed, separated by 2 generations of descent.
Oh,
See? Meh. Nothing to do with divorce.
there will be a divorce soon.
Yes. There will be.
Poor puppy.
Poor
I forgot to
puppy.
turn that up.
What was that?
You won't know.
Nobody will know.
They'll know.
Nobody will
Nobody
know.
will know.
Nobody knows. Triple I's.
See Marla Hooch.
Just mute her.
What a hitter.
Huh?
From a league of their own. Marla Hooch. What a hitter.
Thought you were trying to say what a hater, and I'm like,
No, hitter.
There's no crying in baseball.
Did anybody ever tell you look like a penis with that hat on?
I love that part.
I love that movie.
I had to think about what hat I was wearing. Talking about me.
I love that movie.
Are you still talking?
That's rude.
That's the one we went off on an accident last week or 2 weeks ago or whenever we recorded last, 3 months ago.
Jesus. I think he just had another stroke.
All right.
I did watch Field of Dreams the other day. I love that movie.
That's a good movie, too.
Yes. If you build it,
It's all right.
they will come.
Lupe's had way too many jello shots.
I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Go the distance.
Oh, that's fine.
First it was the cookies. Now it's the jello shots. Take them away.
No, I got maybe 3 hours of sleep last night.
How many did you eat?
I think I counted 6.
Oh my
Let's see.
God.
1, 2,
Do, do, do,
yeah, 6,
6 Jello shots.
and almost 2 of these.
2 Modelo.
Big Modelos.
24 ounces, so 4 Modelos.
48 ounces of Modelo.
Yeah, but I also haven't eaten either, other than the cookies.
Great life choices.
Yeah.
Well, I figured if I didn't get here by a certain time, somebody would yell at me.
No, we were getting ready to.
No, I
Exactly.
wasn't. I knew he had to work today. I was not in no hurry. You know,
Well, I was only getting ready too because Danny was like, "Oh yeah, he said he's on his way."
he said he'll be home in a little bit and then he'll be leaving shortly after. Donnie likes to put time limits on things. Like when I say
He does.
6-ish, it's 6:27. You're not here yet.
That's because if I hear a time, that's what time.
Well, the ish is what I told you before. It extends
The
it.
ish.
Did my earring just fall out? No. I thought I felt something hit my body. I'm not talking for you guys. And you know what the sad part is? I'm not drunk. Like at all.
That's what every drunk person says.
Yeah, that's what a drunk person would say.
Yeah. Just saying.
So let's watch SmackDown now.
I'm going home.
Okay.
Well,
Good episode.
it was.
Thanks.
She's still unsure if
So I
it's
can-
serious.
I know. It's fine.
No, it was good.
How was your first episode?
How was it?
It
Yeah.
was your first time.
I mean, this part is what kills me.
I know. She hates the stuff.
I
She
hate
wants to
that.
hear the case, and that's it.
Get. That's why I like Murder with My Husband. Get straight to the point.
I think that's probably why I stopped listening to them.
You need some
Because it's
chatter.
like it's straight to the point and then it's over.
No, I mean some banter is not bad. Like Morbid. I like their banter, and they've cut on their banter.
Which I think is
she
dumb.
just doesn't like our banter, is what she's saying.
Because I can get
She
this
doesn't like
anytime.
us.
I
Well, that
know.
is true.
Rude ass.
You married her.
I was forced to. I was trapped.
He was blessed with this mess.
Guys, you can find us on all your major podcast platforms. On Instagram at impulsive thoughts _pod. Facebook.
Impulsive Thoughts, YouTuber, TikToker, MySpace, AOL Live.
ASL.
I just realized he said that.
Is that even a thing?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, AIM.
AIM.
Find us on MySpace.
I said that
He
already.
said that. You can find us on Zynga.
Oh, I love that. Write about your feelings.
That was stupid.
I loved it.
I don't know what that is.
I don't have
Boomer.
feelings. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
You're pretty close to a boomer. But yeah, you're
Pretty
still.
close.
Wait,
is he
wait.
not?
No. What year were you born?
He's a millennial.
78. I am
No,
not a
he's not a
millennial.
Not a
Millennial.
millennial.
Fuck
No.
millennials.
He's Gen X.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's what
Gen
I'm
X.
Millennials start like 83 or
The
something.
cool
No,
gen.
81.
I know I'm a millennial, but I thought he was like on the cusp.
Nope.
I didn't know when it started.
Hashtag best year was 88.
Degeneration X.
Air high five. That was hurtful. It's hurtful.
Rude. So, with you as always.
Go ahead.
With me
Don't
as
let
always
him do it.
is
All right, guys.
Donnie in
Lupe.
front of me. Lupe to my left.
I'm Lupe, joined here with Mr. Dano to my right.
Hi there. Bye there.
Mr. Danny Rowe.
Just end it.
It's dead. It's dead. Just end it.
And Jam with a good episode. Thanks, Jam.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're not going to invite you back, though. Guys, don't believe everything you think. We out.
This bitch.
Bye.
Illusions deceive, reality misconceive. Don't believe everything you think.